for right now, we are about to launch an election of recognition. I don't want to go to war with all these, and I know that at least one of these nations that are left is not going to go to war with me, and I already know that one is. Hopefully, I'm hoping for one of these two. That way I have a reason to go after them without losing so much happiness. I can launch all-out attacks against them and so forth. So I'm gonna do that. Hopefully, Israel does that, because right now they're enemies of my allies. They're at war with them. And that's not going to be something I'm going to be too happy about. Meanwhile, if that happens, I can attack them here. Pretty much I have a good base defense, I guess, because I arm all these borders here and so forth. I can actually move this here because it still provides the same amount of protection. Now what I'm going to do now is, if I do get to attack, I want to have a naval fleet on the water here. So what I'm going to do is buy 100. Then the next turn, when I get at least 7 more, I'll be able to fully deploy all of those and so forth. So I pretty much gave myself a timeline of several turns until I attack. Okay, wait. So I'm not at war with Madagascar, which is kind of good. Now, this was sort of to be expected, that they go to war with me. Sudan. They're at war with me, okay, well, they're already at war with my allies, so, like, I could care less what happens to them at this point. Yeah, okay. So, for starters, I'm gonna get this naval fleet on the water here. Gonna buy this and send everything but 100 troops at them now. Here we're about to do some serious damage to them. Okay. Now I'm gonna move right there. I'm gonna send 100 there. And that's about it for my turn. Actually gonna take this here. Okay, so my main objective right now is to sort of expand my reach down into the southern part of Africa, which is gonna be easy because I actually have this territory down here and all this stuff, and help finish off these guys here. Then once that's done, I want to go after for pretty much the guy in second place, which is Turkey. And then that will pretty much be Israel, and then I can worry about these guys who are not quite in alliance with me. But I will ask for a ceasefire, as it seems like we have several enemies in common, and you are not at war. Wait a second. They are at war with my ally, so I'm not too happy about that, but I will offer a temporary ceasefire of 3 turns. And reassure them that I have no intention of attacking them, only wiping out my enemies, and right now they're not my enemy. I'm not going to agree to an alliance, but I'll agree to a ceasefire because you are at war with my allies, like I said. So that's gonna happen. I'll move that there. Wow. We lost troops there. Okay, next turn we're probably gonna have to buy troops for that place, but it's gonna be taken over, obviously. Or not. Okay, wow. Let's see here, what do I want to do? Well, I can't really attack because I don't have, like, a whole lot of troops. Okay, well, tax season's coming. That's probably going to lower happiness. Actually, happiness went up. That's a shocker. Okay. So, I think I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna move that there. And I'm gonna put 200 here. Now, on the other hand, I have a war up here that I want to deal with. Okay, let's do that. Shockingly, they were able to reinforce this and prevent the loss of this. Okay. That is not surprising that that has happened. What I'm actually gonna do is send, not 10, 100. Send 200 there. This is a coastline. Gonna keep this well protected. And then I want to rearm this area back up to 80. Okay. What I'm actually gonna do is take away from my naval fleet here, which is pretty much just providing a border, and put 100 on land there. Sort of like, so if they attack it and they think they take it over, I just re-counterattack it with the naval strike. Yeah, hopefully they won't see it coming. It's best if I attack from here directly there because it's surrounded by every territory that is an ally except for the one territory I'm attacking. So I can live without this being protected for maybe a turn or two, but then I'm probably going to quickly take all these troops and move it back. It depends what the outcome is. I really want to get rid of that nation. Okay. Now I have more borders that I have to worry about. Great. Okay. On the bright side, I have 300 coins, so this should actually go very well. I think what I'm going to do now is take this. Well, what do you know? I have enough to protect all of this. Okay. Great. Because I have to focus my fighting in several different areas, this is going to be a bit of a problem. But seeing as it has died down, what I can do is put some of my financial support into the Madagascars. Help them take out, Botswana, I think is what this is. Yep. Botswana. Well, I pretty much focus all my military efforts on Turkey. and wipe them out as well. I do not think it would be a good position, because I'm not making a whole lot of money per turn, to actually do an all-out battle against them, against everyone, do a great challenge or issue a great challenge. I don't think I can actually do that, because it might be too close to a, since it might not be long enough since the last election. Who knows? Okay. So I think my chances of winning that one are good, because it's 280 versus 110. I don't think they have any fortification bonuses. Okay. And do all what? No. Okay. So let me see here. What do I want to do now? What do I want to do? Okay. Well, I have 400. I'm getting a lot more gold per turn now, so this is actually quite useful. Now I'm going to move everything here, not going to leave any behind for defense of this territory, as it's landlocked, and it should be surrounded by all my territories if I successfully attack that territory. Then what I'm going to do is get rid of this area here. Put everything there. Leave 100 behind. Okay. Not bad, not bad. What do I want to do? Okay. So now what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to have to use this strip here, these strips here, and attack. Okay, but first, I'm gonna go there. Buy as many as I can here. Send all of that but 100, and I think we're good. Oh! Oh! Wow. This is our first priority here. Because we gotta get them. Okay. Well, they survived the attack, which is not surprising. I'm gonna to get more reinforcements for this area here. So I'm gonna move 100 there, move 100 there, move 100 there, and all that stuff. Let me see, and then go here and attack this. And this is what I want to do right now, is just attack. Okay. Well. My mission was successful. I did what I set out to do. Now let's protect the border areas only. And so many to protect from. They don't have positive or negative opinion of me. I'm gonna send a 4-turn request of ceasefire. Because there's no way I'll be able to arm all of these in time. Okay. Let me put that there. Let's put some extra troops here. Okay. So I think I know what I'm gonna do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... I think I have a plan, but I don't know if I can do it yet. I need to see how much money I'm gonna get next turn. Okay. I got a butt ton of gold this turn. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is offer $700 gold there. Now I'm in a ceasefire, so I can't cancel any relations with them, which that is perfectly understandable and reasonable, and no problem with that. Now this gives me time to arm the coastlines. Chances of them actually making a naval fleet and attacking me, probably not that much, as they border me, and it costs less to do, to send an army, buy troops and send it at me, versus buying troops then paying a disembarkment fee and all that stuff. So what I'm actually going to be doing here is go there. Okay, what do I want to do now? So I guess I'm just gonna end my turn, save up coin. While I'm in a ceasefire with them, what I want to do is, well, if I attack there, I want to also attack here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attack this nation here. It's only a small loss of 12% happiness. And I'm moving everything in there. going to move this down here. I'm gonna send that there. I'm gonna send all of this right here. All of it, I meant. Not just 100. Let's move that there. We could capture this here, so I guess I'm gonna take this out. I think that's pretty much a good, solid attack. The way that we were pretty much our territory is bordered, I can pretty much attack pretty much almost everything that they have, except for this coastline here, because I need at least 100 to... I like to have at least 100 troops in the later phase to protect nations, or even more if I know that they're going to attack it with greater numbers and so forth. Well, it's clear that we won. So, now that that's happened, let's move this here. And let's move this here. This is not really a border anymore. I guess the only thing we really need to do is put 100 troops on this border here. And then we're going to put a lot of troops here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now, of course, I have the Madagascars, but they're my allies, so you obviously know there's only one nation left that I need to wipe out. But what I could also do is ask for recognition. And on the off chance that Israel does that, then I can get an easy win. And that would be pretty easy. Although, if it doesn't work for you, that's a problem that I have. Is that they may not be able to. That they may not, and then if that's a problem, then you're still gonna have to fight them. But in this position here that I have, what I pretty much have in this scenario is that this strategy that I've been deploying, only attacking your enemies rather than worrying about minimizing borders. You only defend the borders against your enemies, or any border for that matter, regardless of if they're your enemies, but only focus attacks on the borders with your enemies, but not try and keep it together. Like, I attack down here sometimes. I tried to keep my nation connected all together like I would in Risk Faction, so I can easily maneuver troops between them. But in this case, I can't do that well because you don't have this feature in this game, but they're not all connected. But the reason I do this is because I also allows me to set up multiple attack points on an enemy rather than focusing on just keeping it all together, as both strategies have their own strengths and weaknesses, and I believe this strategy does perform way better than the other one that I've been using on this particular map. So I think I could go for it. I'm gonna go for it. And pretty sure they're not gonna go in my favor, but at least I don't have to lose happiness over this. Okay. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to have multiple attacks. Multiple attacks from this territory here. Have one from here. Okay! So let's see what happens. Now another thing though is that they can move their... Another reason why I like the position I'm in is because their leader's right here. They can move it here. They can move it here. They could probably move it here in a few turns or here. It doesn't matter. I still border them. If they move it all the way down here, I can just make a naval fleet and move it right to them. Either way, I foresee a battle that's about to get messy and heated up over in this area. Or not, I do not know. Well, there's my victory. RIP headphone users. So, ultimately, I was able to use a slightly different strategy on Annihilation, not Domination, which all my previous ones were on Domination. I swapped over to Annihilation once the update sort of screwed over Domination. So, sort of, in my opinion, took apart what the core things that made Domination what it was, separate from all the other game modes, and someone just took something from one game mode and put it in there and in my opinion, it just made things worse. But then again, it's whatever. So I'm gonna create a new game. Let's see here, okay, Conquest of Africa. This is the one I did. I did Modern with 16 nations. Now, let's see here. Not gonna customize, not gonna worry about all of that stuff. So, the reason I picked Spain is because of its fast deployability around in the surrounding territories around it. That is a positive. That is something that you can have. On this one, not only that, but I could expand fast, and I was near water, so I could expand, collect islands fast. That means more territories. Plus, you have territories that you're not going to lose early on, because no one's going to want to spend 100 coins in disembarkment fees just to take out one territory over here. Like, this is Sandwich Island. So, no one's going to want to do that just to get one territory. Eventually they will, but not early on. There's no point. If I'm getting several hundred gold a turn, I honestly wouldn't mind doing that. But then again, I'd probably spend several hundred gold, not 100, just to make sure that when I get there, I don't find out that they have 500 troops on there and I only brought 250, because then I'm just gonna get wrecked. And so forth. Now, I like Afghanistan and the way it's positioned as another one, although what's really limiting about this is that you can't directly expand into here or here. On turn 1, you can only get 2 territories. On turn 1 in Spain, I could get 3, but the mountains sort of limit and sort of restrict where Iran can also go, which is pretty much the main competitor you'll have early on in terms of a land grab, and maybe somewhat Turkey and Saudi Arabia if they expand out of their little peninsula here and up into this area over here, where you are as well. The only other problem I have is that you're going to have a lot of coastline, sort of like what you did with Spain, and you also have to defend. But you have a little bit more wiggle room, in my opinion, because you can expand pretty much anywhere, have a little bit more room in terms of expansion on land, whereas I sort of pretty much had to immediately use Navy, because once I get the 6 or so surrounding territories around Spain, I have to either expand up into here, which would be a land grab with Italy, or what I would do is I would end up having to make naval fleets, which I did, get Corsica and all these other islands in the Mediterranean here. Sicily would be out of the option because it's considered to be a land border with Italy, so they just go directly for that. I could go for all these islands over here, go up there, get London and all that stuff. So that's the thing. Now, Mali, on the other hand, is a good one because you can expand early on and you have a lot more room than the other two. The only problem that I foresee, though, is that you're in direct competition with Morocco, Tunisia, and Central African Republic, as those guys also want to expand and make their nation better because they're from their own nation and they're looking out for their own best interest. And if they're not in alliance with you, they could, or don't like you, they really don't care what happens. And when the land grab after like 5-6 turns is done, you're going to be in conflict with one of those nations or all of them. With Spain, at most, I think I was at, in that one, at most I was ever in conflict was like 3 people. And maybe 4 once I did the recognition, and once I did recognition, issuing recognition and all that stuff. So that was, understandable. Now, on the other hand, having 3 to 4 people be the same enemy of you all at once early on will definitely screw you over, and that is definitely a problem, which is why I figured even if you played well, there's a chance that you pretty much are just screwed over, sort of like in the game of Town of Salem, where you are limited by only actions that your character can do, and if you get jailed by a jailer and he decides to execute you, well, you're dead and you can't do anything about it. It's sort of like that in this situation. You really can't do much about it. So, Spain, you really have more of an option to do stuff about stuff. Like, if someone's taking actions, you have a better ability to do something about it. Sort of like Afghanistan, which is why they sort of rose to that second place spot early on. The only downfall that they had is that they kept declaring war on too many people at once, and they made a lot of enemies. I think I wouldn't be surprised if I went back and checked their diplomacy. If they were at war with up to 6+ nations, that would be surprising, especially seeing as there's a very low amount of nations to choose from compared to other ones that I've played where you can have up to like 20 and so forth, and this one I think has 16. Well, that's something I think was quite useful. Then again, another nation that I think would be worth mentioning as a place to start would be Madagascar. They were my ally in this one for pretty much the whole time. For most of the battle scenario, is that they can easily get control of these islands here, and maybe some of the islands up here, maybe some of the coastline up here. But the main factor is that they're starting on an island of their own. No other nation is starting on an island if you look up here. I'm starting on mainland, Italy's starting on mainland, Greece is starting on mainland, Tunisia, Morocco. Pretty much everyone is. You sort of have a natural barrier because why would South Africa want to come over and attack you? They would have to spend 50 gold, or 50% of the number of troops. So if you have 100 troops, then you have to spend 50 gold to put 100 troops onto the water to come over there and take those territories. You have an easy 3 territories because what you're doing is solely focusing on expansion through naval conquest, because that's sort of what you're limited to doing. Of course, it's going to cost you more money, but in the end, it's sort of acting as an economic barrier, which makes it less likely for people to attack you until you get to the mainland. So, on the other hand, first 3 turns, you're pretty much not going to be at war with each other unless you have certain settings enabled to where there's no peace and just war. Then I guess they would be more inclined to do that because it's an AI, but human players, even if that was enabled, maybe not, maybe so. It really, I doubt that. Unless you're this nation right here, which has a name that I cannot pronounce, and so forth. Well, anyway, guys, I think that's all I have to say about other strategies and other viewpoints that you could have taken to conquer this map on this map of the African colonization map with modern nations. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, take the time to leave any comments, questions, or feedback for me in the comment section down below. It would be highly appreciated, and I will see you guys later in another video. Bye-bye.